2005 Ford Focus has 155,000 miles on it. Been involved in 4 wrecks. Needed to replace the fuel pump on it, so I watched several YouTube videos on how to do it. I chose the method of cutting an access hole under the back seat to get to the fuel pump. I took the back seat out and saw a wiring harness going into a hole under the sheet metal. On the videos I watched, most of them cut a hole right under this rubber grommet that surrounds the wiring harness. On this particular model, the fuel pump is not there. If you cut a hole there, all you will see is the top of the gas tank. The fuel pump is located near the center of the back of the seat, about 8.5 inches from the rubber grommet and about 13 inches back from the front of the seat. I used a Dremel tool with some cut-off wheels to carefully cut the hole. After cutting the hole, I noticed the wiring harness runs from the top of the fuel pump, disappears under the sheet metal again. I had to raise the back end of the car up to get to the part of the harness that could be disconnected. I then took a shop vac and a paintbrush to clean up all the dirt that was sitting on top of and around the fuel pump. I disconnected the fuel line coming out of the pump by popping up and pulling out the little plastic clip. I put a rag over the fuel line while doing this in case any fuel came out, which it did. I then took a hammer and a flathead screwdriver and gently tapped the tabs on the metal locking ring counterclockwise so that the fuel pump assembly could be removed. I forgot to mention that I disconnected the negative battery cable under the hood before doing the work. I removed the old O-ring and replaced it with a new one. The new pump assembly came with a new fuel line clip, a new O-ring, and a new locking ring nut. After replacing the fuel pump assembly and reinstalling the locking ring nut, connecting the fuel line, and connecting the wiring harness, it was time to take it for a test. I put the battery cable back on and then turned the key to the on position, then off several times to prime the fuel line. I then turned the key to the start position and it fired right up. I checked the fuel line for leaks and then drove the car around for a while to see if there were any problems. After feeling satisfied that the new pump was working fine, I put a piece of flashing over the sheet metal flap that I cut, and then I sealed it with silicone. I let it set up overnight, and that was good enough for me. I then reinstalled the back seat. Hope this information helps you next time you need to replace your fuel pump on your 2005 Ford Focus.